Good afternoon. My name is Ruth Grigg. I want to talk to you today about joy rather than happiness. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with happiness. Happiness is a good thing, but happiness can be something that doesn't last. Joy, on the other hand, is long lasting. Can I read something to you from Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 to 24? It says this. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal, but rather store up for yourselves treasures in heaven where moth and rust do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart is also. You may ask yourself, what are these treasures? What are these treasures that these verses are talking about? Well, the treasures on earth can be anything that we hold very highly. It could be stocks and shares, it could be savings, it could be costly homes, it could be cars, possessions, expensive clothing or jewelry or accessories. The thing is that these things don't bring lasting happiness. They're only temporary, and they will rust and they will destroy eventually. They do not bring inner joy and inner peace that is lasting, that is stable, that is secure, and that is steady. And that's what I want to talk about, because real joy is within us. It's not external. Happiness can be dependent on our circumstances, which is external. Joy is within us. And it says in the Bible that the joy of the Lord is our strength. The joy of the Holy Spirit residing within us, it bubbles up and it runs over. It's lasting joy. It's not joy that goes away when things get bad. It's always residing within us. So you may ask, how then can we store up treasures in heaven? Well, that's about getting to know Jesus a bit more. That's about being in the presence of Jesus. He is our greatest treasure. And when we behold him, we become more like him. When we look at his image, our image begins to change. When we look at him, when we meditate on him and we spend time in prayer with him, our minds begin to change. Our spirits begin to change. Our whole being begins to become different. It becomes transformed. We become like the one that we behold, who is Jesus. And our whole being becomes whole. We become full of light. We become full of love, peace, joy. We are transforming. We are transforming into his image, and we are becoming whole. In 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18, it says, and we, who with unveiled faces all reflect the Lord's glory, are being transformed into his likeness with ever-increasing glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit. You may ask then, well, what are the treasures of heaven? Surprisingly, or not surprisingly, they are not physical things. They are not material things. They are not things that can rust and rot or be destroyed. They are everlasting, they are eternal. And they cannot be bought with money or gold. They can only be obtained or given to us through our relationship with Christ. These treasures are spiritual qualities that never die and never end. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, it mentions that they are love, joy, and hope. Let me read this to you. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 says this. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. It does not delight in evil, but it rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. In verse 13 it says, "And now these three things remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love." So when we have these qualities within us, they change us. They change the person that we are. They change our behavior. They change our attitudes. They change our outlook in life. They change how we affect the world around us. We become carriers of God's love, His joy, and His hope, and we spread it wherever we go. We can be the people who help to change other people's lives for the better because we carry this presence within us. We become ambassadors and life changes. We become carriers of the message of Christ and the message of mercy. We are motivated and we are enabled to improve the quality of life of others. We are change makers. All this is because we carry Him within us. We carry His Spirit in us. We carry His presence. And we carry His qualities. Are these spiritual qualities then, are they not worth a lot more than any earthly treasure that we can store? Have a think about these things and start to think about how you can build up treasures in heaven.